Hear my words and bear witness to my vow. Night gathers, and now my watch begins. It shall not end until my death. I shall take no wife, hold no lands, father no children. I shall wear no crowns and win no glory. I shall live and die at my post. I am the sword in the darkness. I am the watcher on the walls. I am the shield that guards from the realm of men. I pledge my life and honor to the Night's Watch for this night and all the nights to come.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Let's get right into this today. In this video, I want to give you another alternative theory that's opposed to the popular belief about how the Night King and his army is going to get south of the Wall and decimate the Night's Watch. Ever since Season 1, Episode 1, I think we've all been wondering when the others will actually breach this wall. The opening scene of the series introduces us to the Night's Watch, the Wall, and the threat beyond the Wall. And I remember thinking when I first saw this episode, if these mysterious creatures ever get on the other side of that wall, everyone is going to be fucked. Now that the series is nearing its end, the threat of them passing through the wall is greater than ever. We haven't been exactly sure how they will get south of the wall, but the show has been foreshadowing this event from the very beginning in Season 1. There are several different theories floating around about this, but I think one of the more obvious answers was foreshadowed several times during the series, and in one of Jon Snow's dreams. But no one seems to be talking about this being the way that the others get south of the wall as of right now. I think the most popular theory is that Bran will be the reason the wall loses its magic, which will then allow the Night King and his army to pass through and get south. This isn't a bad theory actually, but it might not be the right answer. Bran has been marked by the Night King ever since they crossed visions. The Night King was able to reach out and physically grab Bran by the arm, and that mark allowed the Night King to track Bran wherever he went, and also allow him to cross through any magical barrier that once kept the Night King and his men out. There is a very good chance that Bran is permanently marked by the Night King. We did not get a good enough explanation about this yet, and since the Children of the Forest put magical spells in the Three-Eyed Raven's cave and the wall, it's not a bad assumption to think that the Night King's mark will have the same effect anywhere that the Children of the Forest magic is present. But there are other ways the wall can be breached, which we've seen happen before by other members of the cast. According to the plot leak, it says that the Night King will knock down the wall using one of Daenerys' dragons that he allegedly kills and turns into a white dragon. There is zero evidence of this happening, but since this would be all done with CGI, there would be no way for this to leak unless someone on the inside leaked this information, which is possible, but I don't think this is the way it's going to happen. Someone also asked me on Twitter a few months ago why the Night King didn't go after Jon at Hardhome. He walked to the end of the dock, raised the dead, then he let Jon get away. Some people have also been wondering why the Night King and his army just don't go around the wall, which would probably be the easiest way for them to do it. But my guess was because of the salt water. As we know, salt melts ice, and the body of water they would have to cross at the wall is salt water. And you could say the Night King is so cold he could freeze it anyway, but him being so cold could be another reason why he didn't get too close to the water. Maybe the water would instantly freeze if he got in the water or on the water in a boat, which would then just freeze him stuck in place in the water. That would actually be pretty hilarious. Some people even think the wall could get knocked down inadvertently ever since Jon Snow said this to Ed.
Don't knock it down while I'm gone.
I'll do my best. Good luck.
That could be some foreshadowing too, and let's be honest, visually it would look amazing to see that wall come down, but I don't think this is enough evidence for me to believe that this is the way it's going to go down. But let's get to the heart of this discussion now, and I'll tell you why. Let's put those more popular theories to the side, so I can show you all the evidence that points to the Night King and his army climbing over top of the wall. Not through it, not around it, but climb right over top the son of a bitch. We've already seen people climb this wall, so we know it can be done. And the Night King and his men have superhuman strength, so they could probably climb the wall without even using any kind of climbing gear. They've also already shown us a scene at Hardhome of exactly what it's going to look like when thousands of whites come pouring over top of the wall. This has been foreshadowed in almost every season of the series. Jon even has a dream about this in A Dance with Dragons. Let me preface this by saying this dream can be interpreted in many ways, but I'll read it to you and let you decide. It says, burning shafts hissed upward, trailing tongues of fire. Scarecrow brothers tumbled down, black cloaks ablaze. Snow, an eagle cried, as foemen scuttled up the ice like spiders. Jon was armored in black ice, but his blade burned red in his fist. As the dead men reached the top of the wall, he sent them down to die again. Some people could think dead men reaching the top of the wall just means they are inevitably going to die. That's why they were referred to as dead men, but it says Jon will send them down the wall to die again. So to me, that means those are whites climbing the wall, while Jon is standing on top of the wall looking like an absolute badass dressed in black ice with his sword burning red in his fist. And when these dead men reach the top of the wall, Jon sends them back down again to die. More than likely these are wildlings turned into whites. We know the magic prevents the whites and White Walkers from coming through the wall, but it doesn't mean they can't get over top of the wall. Legend says that no one can cross the wall's magic unless they are with a brother of the Night's Watch. So if that were true and the magic prevented people from climbing over it, then the wildlings would never be able to do this when they go on their raids. So this leads me to believe that anyone can go over top of the wall if you're brave enough to climb it. The wall being climbed by others was foreshadowed all the way back in Season 1. Sam Tarly even warns Jon Snow, Pip, and Gren about this.
What else did the book say? The White Walkers sleep beneath the ice for thousands of years. And when they wake up...
And when they wake up, what?
I hope the wall's high enough.
Sam said he hopes that the wall is high enough because he's afraid they're going to be able to climb over top of it. And later on in Season 5, after Jon gets back from Hardhome, he fears this scenario as well with Sam.
He raised his hands, and they all stood up at once. Tens of thousands of them, the biggest army in the world.
So what are you gonna do? I'm gonna hope they don't learn how to climb the wall.
I think this is the answer, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to climb the wall. Jon is afraid of this because he saw exactly what they are capable of. Just like I shown you in the previous scene at Hardhome, Jon saw just how easy it is for the whites to rain down upon you. When they reach the top of the wall, they can literally jump off the top, slam into the ground and break apart, then put themselves back together again within seconds. I think we could see this happen once again. The Night King, White Walkers, and their army of whites getting south of the wall is inevitable. We've known this would happen eventually since the very beginning, but in my opinion, I think the best and most evidence we've gotten thus far is them actually going over top of the wall. They've only referenced the wall getting knocked down one time, but since Bran allowed them into the cave via the Night King's mark, this scenario is fresh in our mind. The Night King could very well put his hand to the ground and split the wall just like he did to the cave, once Bran crosses it, of course. I still can't rule that out, but them going over top instead has been hinted at the most in my opinion. Jon dreamt of this happening, and Jon has climbed the wall himself, so he knows it can be done. And Sam and Jon both fear that they can climb the wall, so this will be the scenario I'm leaning toward the most. Some people even say that the Night King's mark was a one-time deal, and they may be right about that, so if that's the case, then they're going to need another way to get south. So I won't be surprised if we actually see them climb the damn thing. Can you imagine what the scene would look like? Hundreds of thousands of whites climbing the wall with the Night King and his top lieutenant White Walker standing by his side as they are on top of the wall overlooking Castle Black. As the horn is blowing 3 times over and over again, we see the Night's Watchmen look up at the top of the wall. Then right as we see all the whites leap from the top, it cuts to black and Season 7 ends. Do you know how fucking hype that would be? Knowing that once Season 8 begins, we're going to be in for one hell of a ride. But these are just my opinions and stupid daydreams, so you might not agree with me. But comment below and tell me what you think. Is there enough evidence and foreshadowing for you to believe that they're going to climb over the top? Or do you have any other theory that wasn't mentioned here? I would love to hear it if you do. Let me know your thoughts about this. Also, don't forget to check out my last video about all the characters I see surviving until the end. Half of the subscribers haven't watched it yet, so definitely check that video out. I think you're going to like it. And I want to give a shout out to the Golden Company family. When Season 7 begins, we're going to be making group videos across all 4 channels with my friends GrayArea, Cows, Fookin Chickens, and Secrets of the Citadel. We're forming our own group to do some episode reviews, breakdowns, predictions, and stuff like that. So hopefully you all look forward to that. And if you're not a fan of collab videos, which I know is the case with some of you, don't worry because I'll still be releasing solo videos on my channel as well and just as frequently. But this should be a lot of fun working with them. Those are all 3 great channels that I subscribe to and watch all their videos. They each bring something interesting and fun to the table, so I can't wait to start doing some collabs with them. And one last thing before I go, I got to give a shout out to my Patreon supporters. I can't thank you all enough. You generous people that pledged have almost raised enough money for me to buy a camera for the channel so I can start making some actual videos on screen. I have a few different ideas I want to do with the channel once I'm able to get the camera that I need. So 7 blessings to those of you that have pledged, but all of you listening and watching this have shown me tremendous support over the past 6 months. You've helped me grow this channel beyond anything I could have ever imagined. I really appreciate all the love. I'll see you all down in the comment section. Bye.